The curtain of The Tonight Show sweeps open and out steps Johnny Carson, the undisputed king of late-night television. Every night for 30 straight years, viewers watched him glide effortlessly to his mark, deliver a crisp monologue, and settle behind his desk with the confidence of a man who controlled the very heartbeat of American entertainment. But what those millions of loyal viewers never saw was the unpredictable storm happening just beyond the blue curtain, a storm made up of nerves, pressure, backstage panic, and quite often, celebrity guests who were very clearly under the influence of something strong enough to shake the foundations of live television. According to a former producer who spent decades working with Carson, the host had a sixth sense for trouble. He knew instantly when a celebrity stepped onto the stage in a less than sober state. His eyes would flash, part amusement, part dread, and he would adjust in real time, shifting from comedian to caretaker without missing a beat. Behind the cameras, production assistants, and segment producers scrambled constantly. They had emergency plans, quiet signals, and backup strategies ready at any moment. Because The Tonight Show didn't just entertain America, it was live, raw, and absolutely unforgiving. The green room, tucked just out of sight, carried a level of pressure unmatched anywhere in television. And in that pressure cooker, with the stakes impossibly high, many stars sought comfort, from alcohol, from pills, from marijuana, even from cocaine, all while waiting mere minutes before walking onto the most influential stage in the world. One talent coordinator put it bluntly: a great appearance on Carson could launch a career overnight. A bad one could haunt a celebrity for years, maybe forever. That fear, combined with the free-flowing drinks of the era and the cultural wildness of the 1970s, created the perfect environment for chemically enhanced guest dot. And so, over the decades, Johnny Carson became a master of managing guests who arrived high as a kite. 7 appearances in particular became legend, some hilarious and dangerous, some heartbreaking, and each one revealed something extraordinary about the man behind the desk. The first is George Carlin, one of Carson's most beloved and frequent guests. During the 1970s, Carlin reinvented himself from a clean-cut comic to a counterculture icon. With long hair, radical new material, and a personality deeply intertwined with cannabis, he walked onto The Tonight Show more than 130 times, often clearly stoned. A camera operator who filmed many of his segments recalled how Carlin would smile with that unmistakable gleam in his eyes, relaxed, amused, and drifting toward comedic brilliance. But unlike others, he remained steady. Carlin was what the staff fondly called a functioning herbalist. If anything, the marijuana seemed to sharpen his edges rather than dull them. Carson, recognizing this, adjusted his interviewing style, tossing open-ended questions and letting Carlin riff into those philosophical, hilarious monologues that made him legendary. He never let Carlin guest host, though, not because of judgment, but because Carson needed absolute reliability in that role. Still, the two shared a mutual respect, and Carlin later confessed openly in his autobiography. He was stoned most of the time during those early appearances. It was the 70s, and he was George Carlin. But if Carlin was the mellow storm cloud floating harmlessly through the studio, Richard Pryor was lightning. Brilliant, explosive, and unpredictable, Pryor's relationship with cocaine and other substances made his Tonight Show appearances both unforgettable and nerve-wracking. A stage manager once explained how Pryor could be on fire one moment, sharp, hilarious, completely present, and then suddenly drift into cosmic territory, his focus dissolving as he spiraled off into fragmented memories or disconnected thoughts. During one appearance in 1978, he began telling a story about his childhood that slowly unraveled into a string of unrelated observations. The audience laughed uneasily, unsure where the comedy ended and the concern began. Through it all, Carson worked like a safety net in motion, stepping in with questions, redirecting gently, cracking jokes to break the tension, or steering the conversation back to solid ground. But beneath that calm exterior, Carson worried. He respected Pryor's genius deeply and checked on him after difficult nights. Their relationship symbolized the delicate balance between brilliance and chaos that defined the era. Chaos reached its most shocking point in Truman Capote's disastrous appearance in 1980. The celebrated author, known for his sharp wit and legendary talk show charm, walked onto the stage in an obviously impaired state. A sound technician later described how Capote's words slurred together. His head bobbed forward repeatedly, and he seemed barely aware of where he was. The control room panicked, cutting frequently to Carson's reaction shots simply because they were the only thing coherent. While Carson tried valiantly to salvage the interview with simple questions and patient nods, nothing worked. When the cameras went dark for commercial break, Carson stormed backstage and issued a rare decree: Capote would never return. It wasn't anger about substance use. Carson tolerated that when guests remained functional. What infuriated him was disrespect for the audience and the show. Some guests on The Tonight Show showed up in altered states, but few made it part of their identity the way Cheech and Chong did. The iconic comedy duo, Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong, walked onto Carson's stage exactly as fans expected: relaxed, hazy, smiling, and drifting into hilarious chaos. Their stone humor wasn't a problem for the show. It was the essence of their act. Carson played the perfect straight man, pretending not to catch their drug jokes, asking innocent-sounding questions, and letting their rambling punchlines land on their own. During one memorable promotion for Up in Smoke, Chong delivered a wandering monologue that barely connected from one sentence to the next. Carson simply raised an eyebrow toward the audience, letting the laughter swell. Everyone knew the routine, everyone enjoyed it, and Carson once again proved his skill at controlling the room without ever breaking a sweat. But not every chemically influenced guest kept things lighthearted. In 1970, Peter Fonda, already a counterculture symbol after the breakout success of Easy Rider, appeared on the show while seemingly drifting through the haze of psychedelics, possibly LSD. A camera operator later recalled his enlarged pupils and the oddly peaceful way he stared at the studio lights as though mesmerized by their glow. His answers were slow, dreamlike, and disconnected. When Carson asked about his next film, Fonda drifted into a surreal explanation about time wrapping around humanity like a cosmic blanket. Recognizing the moment had crossed into dangerous territory, Carson tapped his cards twice, the secret emergency signal, and the show abruptly cut to commercial. When they returned, Fonda was gone. Still, Carson didn't ban him. He told the staff afterward that everyone has off nights, and Fonda was later welcomed back for more grounded interviews. Oliver Reed was a very different story. The hard-drinking British actor arrived in 1975 carrying an intensity that immediately unsettled the room. He wasn't just drunk, he was loud, unpredictable, and simmering with volatility. Within minutes, he interrupted Carson repeatedly, shouted over the band, and suddenly leaped from his chair to demonstrate a sloppy boxing stance right in the middle of the set. Crew members exchanged nervous glances. Security inched closer, unsure of what Reed might do next. Remaining calm, Carson made the quick decision to cut the segment short. After the cameras faded, he issued a rare and firm directive: Oliver Reed would never return. Disrespect and aggression were lines even fame couldn't cross. Then there was Sammy Davis Jr.'s unforgettable 1974 appearance, intense, electric, and wildly entertaining. Sammy burst onto the stage full of energy, talking fast, sweating under the lights, and telling rapid-fire stories. The crew exchanged knowing looks about Hollywood's nightlife, but Sammy remained sharp, hilarious, and totally in control. During the break, Carson joked he felt tired just sitting next to him. It was classic Sammy, bold, brilliant, and impossible to forget. Looking back at these 7 wild appearances, one thing becomes clear. Johnny Carson wasn't just a comedian. He was a crisis manager, a protector, and the calm center of a cultural storm that spanned multiple decades. He understood that America tuned in for entertainment, not humiliation. His goal was always to make his guests look good, even when they made it nearly impossible. When guests were functional, he embraced their quirks. When they were brilliant but fragile, he guided them gently. When they were dangerous or incoherent, he drew a firm line. And through it all, he preserved the dignity of The Tonight Show, turning even the strangest nights into television history. In the end, it wasn't the chaos that defined these unforgettable moments. It was the brilliance of how Johnny Carson steered the ship through every storm. Long before social media could turn a slip-up into a scandal, Carson protected his guests, entertained his audience, and kept late-night television grounded with class, humor, and total control. Even when celebrities wandered onto that stage, high as a kite, he still made magic happen. And if you enjoyed uncovering these wild behind-the-scenes stories, make sure to like this video, share it with other fans, and subscribe for more incredible Hollywood history. Thanks for watching.